All right. If you love also if you consider yourself spiritual but not necessarily religious, you also will like this video. So stay with me. Those are the main things. Like if my videos and affirmations have really helped you through a tough time, then I think you'll want to hear what I'm going to talk about. So yes. Hi, Julie. Yes. Hello. 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 So yeah, say hi if you're here. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things, a couple of different things. And the third reason you want to watch this is if you feel you're a woman who feels that you have gotten too much in your masculine. I don't want to talk about what I mean by that, because I know, given the time we're in, that might sound old fashioned, but it's not. I'm not talking about it in that way. What I mean by too much in your masculine, let's start there, is, and like I said, I've done this. This is why I am teaching on this. That's why I'm interested in this. As women, we're really taught still the best way to be is, don't be too emotional, and just work super, super hard. And really the hustle thing. I've said this before, but the hustle thing does not work for women in the same way as it can for a man. We can hustle. The goddess says when a woman hustles, when you work a lot and you're pushing yourself, and we know when we are doing that more so than men, okay, we're more connected to our bodies. Okay, that's what I'm going to talk about. We're more connected to our bodies. And so when we push ourselves, we're drawing from cortisol. It's a little bit of research I was doing, but honestly, it's from my intuition. We're drawing from cortisol. A man can draw from his testosterone. The drive, the aggression can be channeled into hustling really hard. We can do it. I'm not saying that women can't. We can, of course, we could build, but I'm just saying when you come just from the masculine, you're not gonna feel good. Number one. Okay, give me a yes if you're with me. You're gonna tend to feel tired. Your hormones. Let's talk about our hormones. Okay. Your hormones get out of whack because it's a sort of, it's a way. And of course I understand in many of our communities, and again, I have women watching from all over the world, but in many of our communities, you feel like you have to work hard. You have to take on a very driven approach to survive. So if that's so, and it's a survival, yes, thank you, Julie. Yeah, then that's obviously different. I'm going to say that then I'm not really, you can listen, but there's no blame or anything. I'm talking to women who realize that they're just very in their masculine and they don't necessarily want to continue like that. So what is the masculine? When I say that, of course, we have two brains. We have the left brain, the right brain, and they do function differently. And everyone has masculine and feminine. It's a continuum. So you're here, you're somewhere in that continuum. What I'm saying is when we get imbalanced with I'm going to be rational. I'm not going to listen to my feelings. I'm just going to push through this. I'm going to suppress how I feel. That is going, and again, you already feel this. So if you don't feel this or you're not aware of it, I'll give you an example. There's a lot of wonderful channels that I follow, and a lot of them talk about burnout. I was just actually watching Rashida Dow. I do watch a lot of channels where especially Black women are moving abroad. Now I watch everybody's channel. Typically I'll watch women because I think their experience is going to be different. And I watch some of these channels, and a lot of them talk about how women got to the point of burnout. And then that's when they're like, oh my God, I need a sabbatical, hair falling out. Okay. So I'm giving you the extremes, hair falling out, autoimmune issues. Okay. That's what I'm kind of labeling being too much in the masculine. You might just see it as, oh yeah, I just overworked. Okay. So if that's you, then keep listening. So that's something that I feel like I'm here on the planet to help women with. Okay. Now you may not realize it. You may not want to own it because you're like, oh, well, that's how I got very successful, is with my drive, with my ambition. And that's great, but it's about balance, right? Because I'm an ambitious woman too in certain things, but it's about balance. Okay. So let me just write that down. Yeah, 2 in the masculine, and it's just not serving you. Let me just put it that way. It's not serving you. If it's serving you, you're happy, you're healthy. In fact, I mean, I can think of a couple women, I'm not going to name them, who are very much in their masculine. They still have their feminine energy is still quite high. So, you know, they're like successful, they're driven, and there's still this real sense of balance in them. Okay. But that's hard to maintain. That is hard to maintain. And that's kind of what I'm teaching and want to talk to you about with this video and with my program, which I'm going to share with you. So I've not done a dedicated video about what Awaken the Divine Feminine is. Let me know if you like the name, because I really like it. Or sometimes I call it Awaken the Sacred Divine Feminine. Just, you know, I just need to add another adjective. So it is a program for women who are feeling that. Also, like, they've gotten too far into their masculine and they don't feel balanced. It's also for women who want to explore goddess spirituality. They want to explore the like ancient religions without getting like religious, but the ancient goddess archetypes. So that's kind of a big part of what, let me write down because I want to remember what I spoke about. So like the goddess archetypes, they want to explore that and work with one that is almost like their match or their archetype. Okay, so that's what I do in Awaken the Divine Feminine. Something that makes it different than a lot of these like goddess programs, because there are a few, I'd say there are like 3 or 4 that seem popular online. What I don't do is I don't say, okay, we're going to study Sekmet, Bridget, and Mary Magdalene, and you're just going to learn about them. That is a very, oh, thank you. Thanks, Julie. That is a very sort of, that's also a masculine approach. And Priya and I talk about that in the previous video. What it is, it's not study. We're not going to study about the goddesses. We're going to experientially like commune with them. And that I do think is another level. Like I'm thinking maybe I should do an intro level with Awaken the Divine Feminine, or sort of teach about like different goddesses from around the world. And I'm going to include that in this current iteration. I'll just introduce the concept and how, you know, Africa, South America, North America, Asia, there was always a goddess in ancient cultures, often multiple goddesses, and they brought certain energies, they channeled certain information, okay? So I will include a little bit of that in this iteration of Awaken the Divine Feminine. I will do that. But what we really do is, and again, watch the video I just recorded with Priya, because she took the first round of the program, but we literally, you do shamanic journeying. So I'm going to tell you what that is. Let me know, do you know what shamanic journeying is? Because I feel like that is new for a lot of my viewers who may love my affirmations, and I'm talking about divine feminine, and they're almost like, yeah, are you aware that when you say divine feminine, if you say divine and feminine, you are talking about goddesses, or you say I'm a goddess, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I'm gonna share about it. Let me know. Let's get some feedback. Do you know what shamanism is? So in many cultures, you know, people, there's still an awareness, like we pay attention to our dreams, or we feel like an ancestor might visit us or give us information. Like I'm from Jamaica, and that's still relatively common to feel that, like to have that awareness of that spirituality that may be outside of the organized religion. But what shamanism is, so shamanism, and it's going to grow more and more. I'm always, you guys, I'm always, always, always ahead of the curve. So I always introduce something before people are like, what are you talking about? And then I move away. Then I'm like, people didn't get that. And then like 5 years later, I swear to you, I did that with mindfulness. I'm like, nobody's going to be really interested in mindfulness. I don't know if it's just not going to get popular. Okay, how many apps are there now with like venture capital funding? Okay, so I'm always a little bit ahead. Always, always, always a little bit ahead. Hi, Mr. Free Downloads. No, I don't need you to create short videos for me, my love. Yeah, thank you though. I'm gonna put you in timeout just because I can. All right, so so what is shamanism? Shamanism I'm going to define what it feels like and how I teach it in Awaken the Divine Feminine, okay? It feels like daydreaming. So shamanism is going into an altered state, a relaxed state, and then connecting with spirit. It could be connecting with plant allies. So what does that mean? Like literally, you may be having an emotional problem, and I'll give you an example. For me, willow, which I didn't know, willow is very much connected with the feminine in Celtic culture specifically. Um, the willow, it's considered like a feminine tree. It has a feminine quality. I did not know that. And yet willow was coming up for me in my shamanic journeys. And I've always loved, naturally loved willow trees. I just think they're beautiful. You know, can you guys picture willow trees? Because I always say I'm from the Bronx and like, I don't know different tree types, but I know a willow tree. It looks like, it's almost like the hair on an Afghan dog. It just goes like this, like a fountain, and it drops down. It's a very specific type of tree. So you might do a shamanic journey with me, you know, if you're studying with me, and then you are shown a tree, like you're like, almost like you're on a psychedelic trip, right? And you envision, and it's like you can talk to the tree, right? Or the tree gives you like a message. So shamanism is, in practice, an altered state, relaxed state, often brought about by drumming, right? So the drumming sets a hypnotic sort of pace. And then you almost like you feel like you're daydreaming, you'll start having this, like, it's called a journey. So like a trip through other realms. So that's what shamanism is in practice. And in theory, it is directly communing with the divine, angels. It could be earth spirits, you know, like when you hear about fairies, like how did people think that there are fairies? Well, in an altered state, they were able to see them or get a sense of them, right? So, so shamanism is directly connecting with spirit, usually through someone going into an altered state. Like I know you guys have heard of like ayahuasca or even like ganja, like an altered state. Some people use, you know, use a substance, and then directly communing with spirit and bringing back like answers. Like, so a shaman in a village, you know, might be the one who they need to find a new water source, or someone is sick and they're brought to the shaman, and the shaman is like, you know, it's a cousin who lost a baby, and now this woman is pregnant, and the jealousy of the cousin is causing harm. Like it's stuff like that that we may not give credence to, that some of you, but if you're watching this, you know what I'm saying. In the West, we'd more make it psychological, like, yeah, the cousin is jealous, and the stress from that is making this other pregnant woman sick, you know, and upsetting her body. So, and then they would bring the person to a shaman, and they might do some rituals, and they see what the problem is, right? They're able to see, oh, it's this interpersonal thing. And they do a ritual, and they're like, you know, here's this tea, and I do this ritual, and the person's better. Okay, so that's my sort of quick explanation of shamanism. It has existed around the world. The word itself, shamanism, comes more from the Siberian region, related to like their word. But in many cultures, especially in Africa, in South America, there's still like a living lineage of shamans, that it wasn't broken. So anyway, we just do basic, an intro to that. And that is how you get connected to the goddess that will work with you with whatever problem you're having. So say you have trouble with relationships or whatever, it's basically a way to commune with spirit. I'm going to lead you specifically towards, you know, goddess, but we also do what's called, like, you find your spirit ally. Do you guys who are here in the live, do you have like a spirit animal? Do you already feel like you have a spirit animal? Let me know in the chat. I'm gonna have some of my tea. This is fennel, fennel, coriander, and I think no chamomile. I think fennel, coriander, and ginger. Fennel, coriander, ginger. Let me know if you have a spirit animal or an animal that you feel an affinity to. Okay. Okay, you don't. That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Who else? Hey, thanks for joining. Thanks for sharing that, Julie. So you don't feel like you have one. Often your spirit animal is an animal that you've just liked since you were little. Like, I know some people say, oh, I've always just loved elephants. I think they're so cool. I've just always been drawn to them. And you collect like little figurines of them. So, or you have posters of them, or it's a butterfly. It can be anything. It can be anything. It can be the strangest animal. It could be a skunk. Though I have to say, I have not seen anyone who thought their spirit animal was a skunk, but it could be. It could be. Yes, yes. Yeah. Welcome, Julie. Yeah, no, happy to have you. Happy to have you here. And Essentially Holistic is here. Who else is here? Just stopping in. So my name is Viv. I often just say Yogini Viv. A Yogini is someone who is practicing spiritual practices as a really important part of their life. It doesn't just mean Hatha yoga, okay? It doesn't just mean like Hatha yoga. When you hear Yogini, it means someone for whom spiritual practice is important in their life, and they're um, wanting and focused on like their evolution, spiritual evolution, things like that. So Awaken the Divine Feminine is my program. It's open now for registration, and I'm going to put the link in, and I want to share with you some of what we'll do. And then you're free, again, either in the replay, folks from the future, you can ask me questions. So we'll do like sacred movement. And the point of that, I'm looking at my website, what I had put up, is to build inner fire and purify the belly and the pelvic area. Because we also do some focus on the sacral chakra. So this one is not my chakra course, but we focus on the sacral chakra and the heart chakra and connecting them as women. So connecting that womb energy, that nurturing feminine energy up with the heart, and healing for healing. So I will teach you gentle movement that will build like inner fire, I wrote, and purify the belly, the digestive area, and the pelvis. So that's one thing we'll do, like sacred movement. We'll do the chakra work, as I just mentioned, working with the sacral chakra and heart chakra connection. Those two are considered the feminine chakras. They have like a feminine energy. So we'll work to balance that. The shamanic journeying, I'm going to lead you on how to get an ally. It could be an animal, could be a plant, as I said. It could be like willow, which again, willow is where we get aspirin, where we get pain reliever. And many ancient cultures knew that. They were brewing it as a tea, obviously, before it was a tablet, before Bayer had it. It was willow bark, right? And they worshipped most of nature as feminine. So I'll introduce you to connecting with the natural world. I'll talk more about that. We'll create sacred space. So I'm adding this in. With setting up like an altar if you don't already have one. And I wrote, you'll commune with, towards the end of the program, whether it's Sekmet, whether it's Isis, whether it's Freya, whether it's Mary Magdalene, whether it's Oshun. So I don't give you, there's no set goddesses. We're not going to like read about them and study about them. You're going to connect, okay, with the perfect divine feminine manifestation for you. So obviously we'll have meditations. I wrote deep embodiment. Embodiment for women is that antidote, goddess, to the going too much in the masculine, because when we're fully embodied, that's what it means, embodied, we're not going to tend to abuse our bodies. So it's a lot of self-love. Connecting into the next thing that I will teach you, we'll be doing 2 types of healing massage from, my background as a massage therapist, as a licensed massage therapist in my state, and I'm retired now. So we're going to build our feminine energy, our yin energy, and that's the antidote to the masculine hustle. A lot of us are burnt out. So there's an element too of healing the burnout, because how can you get to the spiritual level if the physical level holds you back? Okay. So we'll do healing touch, and we'll do earth connection. You will learn practices and you will go and do them to connect with nature in your area and to start to balance your own rhythms with nature, because we are, we're not isolated. We're living in a biosphere. The birds, the trees, the plants, the grass, all of that has to do with our balance. Okay. So beautiful ones. If you have a question, now's a good time. And of course, we'll have journaling, because you're going to track some of this in a journal. So if you have any questions, I'm just going to pause again, and I'll come back and take the questions. I want to read you what some folks said. Christina, who took it last time, the first time I ran it, she said, I love that I'm in the company of other women who are like me, who I can learn and experience with. Because we'd share the journeys when we do the journeys, and hearing what the other women saw and experienced was really profound. So she writes, the meditations and the treatments is inspiring, are inspiring, okay, and a delight. This was such a blessing to me. I'm glad I made the investment. That's Christina. JM wrote, I enjoyed the grounding, centering, and protecting practice. This is something that can serve me in my meditation and in my daily life. Okay. JJ wrote, I enjoy the shamanic journeying information. This information continues to support me in my meditations and deep diving into knowing myself, knowing self. I've also enjoyed the wellness tools that have been provided, especially the massage and the acupressure points. And then Priya, who again, watch our interview, she wrote, I'll just read part of what her testimonial was. I feel like this program also made me transform what I believe to be everyday life, and has in a way helped to give me permission to make my spirituality much, much more present in my daily life. Through meditations and reflections on my experience, I feel like I have a more solid foundation for my personal practice. So yeah, that's the client love, and it is on the website. And the reason I'm doing this live is to let you know, and let you know that the early enrollment, which is only $99, it's $99 for the whole program, that ends tonight Eastern time. Okay. So yes, if you have any questions about what I've just shared, and then I'm gonna look for, great. Hi, Lydia. Hello. Okay, now I'm seeing you are sharing, there are different animals that you do like a white tiger. Yeah, there's something very, very spiritual about the white tiger. It's just it's so unusual and striking. Lydia says, okay, she names a couple, a swan, a snail, a fox. You feel like are your spirit allies. Mm-hmm. Swan, yeah. And each one can have a meaning for you. So goddesses, again, in my program, what will appear to you may not be what you think. And that's what I love. Like Lydia says, snail, right? Most people wouldn't pick snail as their animal ally, right? They go for something more sexy, like, oh, it's fox or it's wolf, right? So it'll come to you though, as I lead you through this practice. Yeah. So anyway, let's see. Excuse me. Essentially holistic. I need to rebalance my sacral chakra. Yes. A lot of my channel, my most popular videos, essentially holistic, are on the sacral chakra. So that is part of the work we'll do in this, but it's even bigger than that. It's about getting you grounded in the feminine, because that chakra, that's like the womb space. And again, even women who've had the womb removed, still energetically, you want to support that energy. And it means there was something going on with, and I know, because also that's what got me interested a lot in the chakras, was my own issues with the sacral chakra and that sacral energy, what it represents. So essentially holistic, I think you would really benefit from the program. So we work with that, like I said, balancing the sacral with the heart, the softness of the heart, love, and the sacral is more the sensuality. You can see how just bringing those together in balance can be very healing. And that is one of the practices that we will do. Yeah. So essentially holistic, the link is in the live chat, and it will be below the video for those of you on the replay. So I do want to also share that my program is open for all women, because I really feel that if as women we're not able to be in sacred space together. So whatever your ethnicity, whatever your age, also, I want to say that I think the oldest woman was in her 60s who took it the first time, and the youngest was probably Priya. So in the 20s. So it ranged, it was the 20s, women in their 20s. I'd say most were probably in their 30s to 40s and then up to the 60s. So yes, we all really need to, yes, exactly, Lydia. I do readings. One of the readings I was offering, I don't know if I still have it up on my website, but one of the readings I offer is connecting you to your spirit ally. And Snail came up for a friend of mine, and I thought, oh gosh, I was doing the reading for her. And, so someone I knew, and I just thought, she's not going to like Snail. Very sweet person. So I thought, oh, she'll accept it, but it's not like, and she loved it. And as we talked about it together after her reading, after I'd done the journey, she definitely she felt rushed. She feels rushed. She's someone who actually does better going slowly. Snail was perfect for her. I wouldn't have picked Snail. I mean, I was doing the journey for her, acting as a shaman for her, and I wouldn't have picked Snail. But when that came through, it was perfect. So this is based on the theory. If you're like, this is really woo-woo, Viv, I don't think most of you will think it's super woo-woo. It's that all cultures prior to pre-industrial age saw the medicine of different animals, right? They would watch them. Oh, wow, look, snail is super, super slow. It takes its time. That became like when you see like Native Americans have a dance for like a particular bird, like a crow dance. It's because of observation and communing with these various forms of life. Okay, and the medicine or the quality, the intelligence they bring, right? Like dolphin brings a certain energy. Whale, brings a certain energy. So this is all part of what we'll work with in Awaken the Divine Feminine. So I just really know that a lot of you out there could be greatly helped by this. So I'm just really diving deep into what the program is about. Essentially holistic, yet you love horses. And that's interesting that you are a Sagittarius. Well, horses are very much about power, right? They have a tremendous amount of they're about like physical power. And for you, essentially holistic, if that came up as your spirit ally for whatever you're journeying for, it would mean specifically for you. Okay. So it's really, really beautiful. Horse might mean something slightly different for someone else. For one woman, it might mean personal power, and it could be your creative and sexual energy. Or maybe for another person, it's their energy, but having to do with writing or something, like they're a writer, and it's about freeing that, right? So we can have different meanings, depending on the woman. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Lydia is saying that snail is odd, but snail comes in when I need to slow down. So Lydia, how do you do this connection? You'll see snail more? Let us know in the chat. So yeah, share. And is there a particular goddess that you already feel drawn to? And so let's talk goddesses, your chakras, and anything else, okay? This tea is so good. I kind of want to rewarm it up, but I don't want to break from the live. Essentially Holistic says I'm a Sagittarius, which is half man, half horse. Yeah. And that's interesting, right? Like, what is the origin of that symbol? Like, what is it holding, So we've had mentioned white tigers, snail, fox. One of my primary spirit allies is owl, and I mentioned in another recent video that owl is also considered very much linked with women in many cultures. There's something about it that being so active at night, and this whole idea of it seeing in the darkness. So it's linked a lot with shamans, which I didn't know when owl was what appeared to me. Like, I didn't know anything about owls. Like I said, I'm from the Bronx. I don't know really anything about animals. I know about rats on the subway tracks, okay? Mice growing up, and I that's it, dogs and cats, okay? Nothing about horses, nothing about any other animals. In much of my life, right? I just would have a cat. That's all I know about. So to see an owl appear and then find out so much it's often the spirit ally for intuitive people, because the idea that they can see where there's darkness where others can't see, clarity of mind, focus, right? Also, the way it can turn its head, right? And so it's the idea of a wide vision. And so that's my primary spirit ally. Yes, 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 yes. So good. I'm going to read some of the comments. So Lydia says, mostly from oracle cards, and some has come in a vision. Yeah. So we do very gentle shamanism, like we work with it in a very gentle fashion and very safe. Priya mentions that we work with it in a very safe fashion. So we're starting June 2nd, but right now, early enrollment, it's only $99, which is way, way cheap for it. I worry because I feel like some of my channel viewers might have income restrictions. And so I've set it that I think is a reasonable investment. So check it out. It's going to expire tonight, the $99 price. You also get you get 9 art printables. And let me tell you which goddesses: Oshun, Brigid. One is called the Hag of Bera, and hag is not used derogatively. I've got a couple Oshuns. I've got Butterfly Maiden. I've got Goddess Lakshmi. These are prints that I made, and you'll get access. They're printables. You'll get access to 9 of them, and you can pick which one you want to actually print out. You can print it at home. They print beautifully. I mean, these are what I sell in my shop. They print really beautifully, and you can print them smaller or bigger. That is part of the early enrollment, our 9 different goddess prints. And I will give you the file and you print them, okay? If you like. So if you don't work with Rhiannon, you don't have to print Rhiannon. You could print Butterfly Maiden or Lakshmi, or Oshun. So yeah, that is the early registration bonus. So yeah, any questions? Let's see. Snail also has come as a message to trust in the invisible. Ladybugs. Yep, I love ladybugs. A ladybug, you guys. I actually felt bad about it. I called my friend who's like very witchy. A ladybug landed on me. And it was so special, but I intuitively, like, I just went like that because I'm like, bug, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I should have just let the ladybug, just because that's kind of unusual. Ladybugs, I mean, I see them on my windows different times or whatever, but this ladybug landed on my arm. I had just sat down by the water and just landed. And so very much take them as luck. Yeah. Yeah. Love ladybugs. Ladybugs they're beautiful. And so yeah, I have many stories. I share more in the program. So goddess, if you're watching this, really, this is my invitation to you to study with me. If you like the public videos, we go much more in depth privately, and it just feels like a nice container, which was the phrase Priya used. It's not, it's not broadcast out on YouTube, and I can see you can see the other women when they share like who they got. It's kind of exciting, like, oh my gosh, I saw these like blue feathers, and then and we just share. It's really, really cool. Julie says, Aphrodite. Yeah. Is there a divine feminine energy that you feel drawn to? Yeah. Aphrodite or Venus. Throughout the ancient world, some variation of Aphrodite, of course, all around the world, different names. A goddess that's specifically about feminine allure and beauty. So all around the world, yeah. So you might be drawn to that manifestation of Aphrodite. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I think that was the Greek name. I'm not sure. The Roman, and maybe Venus was the Greek. Yeah. Hi, Kayla. Hey, hi. Hi, on Viv. Can I meditate lying down? Of course. Yeah. No, it's not a tangent. You can meditate. The problem with meditating laying down, the main and really the main and only problem is I really recommend it if you're very, very tired and yet you want to meditate, which is great because it will help, or you have a chronic illness. So Kayla or Kaylee, um, the problem is you're going to get sleepy and you're going to tend to lose your focus that you're actually meditating. Okay, that's the main this. Oh, okay, I took myself out and added myself back. So yes, you can meditate laying down, but you're going to tend to fall asleep. You're going to tend to feel drowsy quicker because when your body is in a horizontal position, and you're not doing anything. Right? Your body's going to be like, oh, it's time to go to sleep. It's not going to happen right away, but you'll just find that you feel so relaxed that you will tend to fall asleep, and then kind of um, is a problem if you're really wanting to meditate. So yeah. Yeah, and essentially holistic says exactly. Exactly, and that's what a teacher would tell you, and I am a meditation teacher. I'm just watching because my landlord is out gardening, so I'm watching him putter around. Um, yeah, so that's the reason I would not specifically. Why, Kayla, why do you feel like you need to do it laying down? You don't need to cross your legs, my love. Sit in a chair. Sit upright in a chair that has a back to it that will support your back, a straight back chair, not a recliner, and then put your feet flat. And so everything is lined up, and just rest your hands on your lap. Mhm. So you do not need to cross your legs to meditate. Um, yeah, that's a kind of a myth. You do not have to. And you could just cross your ankles. Everybody can cross their ankles. I mean, obviously, unless you have a disability or like difficulty with your knees. So I would just sit in a chair, Kayla. That's what I would do. I wouldn't particularly try to meditate laying down because, like Essentially Holistic says, you're going to fall asleep. You're going to fall asleep. So, so we talked about, so any questions about Awaken the Divine Feminine, Awaken the Sacred Feminine? I'm going to go over for those folks who just joined. I talked about, I think it's right for you if you are a woman who wants to have a spiritual practice, some new spiritual practices. Okay. So that you can do every day. What I'm going to do, free downloads, I'm going to ban you and delete your comments because you wrote that 3 times. I appreciate your hustle, that you want to make videos for me, and that's great. But I'm not hiring anybody to make videos for me, my love. So move on to the next person. But spam, YouTube does not like spam. So if you get marked as a spammer, it's probably a bot anyway. Who am I talking to? It's a bot. I'm just going to talk to the real people. Kayla says, deep breathing is easier. I also have heavy boobs. I have a disability too. Oh, the deep breathing. Okay, but my love, when you're meditating, meditation does not mean that you're doing deep breathing. Deep breathing is deep breathing. And meditation can include some deep breathing, but typically when you're meditating, you're breathing normally. Yeah. So you have a disability. Yeah. Just sit in a chair. Absolutely. And goddess, you can, you take a pillow for you if you're disabled. I do recommend a straight back chair, but if you need, you put a pillow at your back. Okay. Make yourself comfortable. Make yourself comfortable. But like I said, laying down flat, you're going to, and I think with you're gonna get comfortable and fall asleep. It'll be very hard to stay alert. But yeah, do deep breathing, like do relaxation and yoga nidra. You can do that laying down. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, wait, what are you happy to hear? You have the same problem? Oh, yeah, you don't have to cross, I mean, you could just cross your ankles, like the way a lot of people sit if you sit on your carpet or you sit on the grass, right? Don't you guys ever sit on the grass? You just sit, you cross your legs. You don't put them in lotus. Lotus is like when you're fully wrapped like that. I mean, I can do that, but it's not comfortable. I wouldn't, I can do that for a photo. And I can hold it for a couple minutes. I can, in fact, I just did yoga, which is why I feel really good. I can, I'll show you guys actually. I'm going to show you a book, a posture I was just doing because it'll be easier than trying to do it because I'm sitting on a chair, so I can't do it like that. Hold on. So yeah, I'll show you. So yeah, this is a fallacy. So you guys need to take my mindfulness program because I hear a lot of misconceptions about meditation coming through. But Kayla, if you are doing deep breathing and you want to lay down, and it's the type of breathing that, you know, because there's some breathing you would do sitting up. So this is what I was doing, you guys, just to show off. This is actually really hard. So this is my Ashtanga book. I studied with this guy maybe like 15 years ago. He did like a certification. This is, so you're talking about lotus posture. This is how you end the series. You cross your legs in full lotus, and then you lift yourself off the ground. And I did it. And I'm not going to tell you how old I am. I almost did. I'm not. I'm not going to tell you. But I'm older than the dude when that picture was taken. So yes, I can do lotus, but I wouldn't meditate in that position. I can get into it. You're supposed to hold that, the photo I just showed you, you're supposed to hold that position for 100 breaths. I'm just at like 8. I'm not going to do 100 breaths, you know? So yeah, no, your legs fall asleep. Totally. Yeah. Yeah. Just cross them at the ankle. Oh, it's really hard. You have no idea because it's your abs, Julie. So when you fold your legs and then and I do have long arms, but you can still have long arms and not be able to get your butt off the ground. So what you have to do is contract your abs. You have to like suck it in, and that shortens your torso, and then you can lift yourself up. I'm not going to show you guys now. You're not going to convince me to show this. I already sweated and washed my face and did my makeup. So anyway, yes, let's see what this is. Yellow first, red. What? Oh, thank you, Medal. Yellow first, red. Oh, what? What? Here. Yeah, you can sit up in bed. You can sit up in bed with your back against the wall. That'd be great. But I think yeah, they want to lay down. But I mean, you can do anything you want. You come back and tell me though, if were you able to meditate for 15, 20 minutes without feeling sleepy? That's really the problem. Yeah. Yeah, but you could do it sitting up in bed and rest your back against your headboard. But I just get a straight back chair. If you have a disability, if you can just have your feet down, that's fine. That is absolutely fine. Let me see in the comments. So any questions about anything that I mentioned, the program, because I don't want, I don't want you to miss it, the discount enrollment if you need it, okay? And then the full price is $149. But again, Awaken the Divine Feminine, my 8-week program, right, I was going through, if you love my affirmations, if you love the chakra work, if you love the Divine Feminine videos and they make you feel really good, then this is the program, is the next step for you. It's good if you're spiritual but not religious, because we are going to do some spiritual stuff and we're going to do shamanic work. So it's for people who are very spiritual and into that type of thing, want to find out more about the goddess energy. And if you feel like you're too much in your masculine, we'll definitely do, like I said, I'm going to teach you 2 massage practices that are going to nourish you as a woman, make you feel like, bring back some of that juiciness that as we get older starts to diminish. I'm going to give you practices, some points, but also another massage practice to help build your yin. The yin is the feminine, it's the moisture, it's like the juiciness, and it's the basis of the yang. Like, for instance, I know a lot of women might actually take ginseng. Ginseng builds your yang, but if you don't have the yin to go with it, it'll just make you anxious, nervous, irritable, interfere with your sleep. Like, ginseng is a great herb, especially for men. But if a woman takes it, you need to make sure you balance it with some other herbs that are building your yin as well. Okay. Hope that wasn't too like sort of esoteric for you. But oh no. Oh, what did you do, Kayla? Yeah, it didn't show it. Hold on. At least on my end, it's a first gold medal emoji inserted. Let's see. Let me see. Did it show that it's an emoji? You know what it is, Goddess? I am on a thing called StreamYard, this app that I use for live streaming because I like being able to put up your comments. And so, Kayla, so like this. And so, hey, if you're just joining, it might not show your emojis. Like if I went over to YouTube, I might see your emojis. I'm going to show that again because a couple people just joined. This is what I just did, people. Okay, here. I'm doing a little Ashtanga practice to still help with toning my whole midsection and stimulating the organs for detoxifying, right? And so I'm doing Ashtanga style yoga, which is quite vigorous. And so here, let me see if I could find, like, their sun salutation involves jumping. Now, I'm not trying to say I jump all the time. Here, I'm going to show you. This is the first. This is called Surya Namaskar A. And I do have a video where I go through this. Hold on. So this is him showing that. Right? So you see that push up, right? My mother would say, Lord of mercy. Lord of mercy, Taratid. That was a curse. I just said Taratid. And this is Surya Namaskar B. And so this is what I was doing before I hopped on with you guys. You do that, and then you jump, and you da. Oh my God, if you want to sweat. So I'm just, I'm doing that for now. Sometimes I'll get bored with it because it's Ashtanga is a set pattern. And sometimes I get bored with that. But yoga, again, to round this out, is wonderful if you're feeling depressed. Any vigorous movement practice will really help lift your spirits and keep you balanced. So I really do recommend that. Kayla, no, I know. And with your disability, Kayla, what you could do, you can do chair yoga. I'm actually thinking about making some chair yoga videos. This is my fear. If I start making chair yoga videos, YouTube is like, oh, she does chair yoga. I have to do more chair yoga because they'll be like, oh, we thought you were about chair yoga. And they'll bring people who only want to watch chair yoga videos, who aren't interested in the affirmations, the self-love. You see what I mean? So YouTube is weird, you guys, like that. But anyway, I think that I'm going to wrap up now. If there aren't questions during the live about Awaken the Divine Feminine, my 8-week program. The reason I'm running it at 8 weeks is because when I did 5 weeks, everybody said they needed even more time to do the shamanic, like to learn it and to dive in, and they were enjoying it. And so over 8 weeks, you get time to process some of what happens and to practice. I'm also thinking of doing it over like 2 weekends. So any of you watching this, if you're more interested in a more condensed version of Awaken the Divine Feminine, let me know. And I did want to just mention the time we've decided on. It's 11. It's going to be Sundays at 11. So if you enroll, it's Sundays 11 to 12:15 Eastern time. Okay, so that doesn't work for anybody. Who does that? I think it doesn't work for anybody in England. And I've sometimes had women from Britain take my programs. I think is that right? Britain might be later, so it may work. It may work for you. So I'm going to put the link in there because I would love to see you in that program. I know it could really help with your healing, your sense of embodiment, and your sense of power as a woman. Okay. Okay, it's a couple more comments. So if anybody has questions before I go about shamanism, if you just jumped in, spirit allies, a particular goddess energy that you feel drawn to, any sense of wanting to deepen your spiritual practice, to go deeper. Any questions about that? Yeah, so Julie, yeah, it will be, oh, see, I hadn't seen your question. Yeah, it will be Sundays, 11 to 12:15 a.m. Eastern time. So I'm thinking of East Coast people a lot just because that'll be before lunch, but it can work if you're in California, mountain time. And if you are in Europe, I've had folks from Portugal take, and I've had folks from England also study with me. And so I think that time works because I think they're 6 hours ahead. They're somewhere like 5 or 6 hours ahead. But yeah, it's only $99 for 8 sessions live with me. And remember the bonus you get of the 8 different, is it 8? Actually 9, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 goddess printables. And so I have Oshun, I have Lakshmi, I have Butterfly Maiden, Rhiannon. I have a couple of Oshuns, and Oya, who is the African goddess of like thunder and lightning in the marketplace. And she's when you're doing transformations. So you'll get the file to print that out. You could print that out on a home computer or your office computer if you don't let them see, or take it to Staples and and have like a beautiful poster. So that is the bonus. And then the class is taught via Zoom, and is only for women currently. That's 10 a.m. CST. CST. Probably if you're in the US, what's CST? Is that mountain time essentially holistic? Yeah, oh, Central Standard? Yeah, just Google it. I'm pretty sure you're ahead by 1 or 2 hours. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. But check with in fact, I think on my page, if you go check it out, I think I have here. I have this thing. It's to a Greenwich, the world clock. I have the world clock. Here we go. You can check what the times are. So Eastern is like New York time, not the New York Times, New York time. Okay. I'm going to pull a card. So ask a question. Okay, if you're interested, ask a question, and no yes or no, because there are no yes or no's. If you want to manifest something, this will be about what you need to know to manifest it. If you're having a problem, it'll be what you need to know to help with that problem. So I'm going to get my cards. I'll be right back, and I will pull some cards. Okay. And for those of you who just want the chakra course, that exists, but I'm not enrolling it now. I will definitely announce when I'm doing my sort of flagship course, which is just on the chakras. Awaken the Divine Feminine is more of a blend, like I said, working with all these different practices that we will do, working with the body, really dropping into the body. We'll do some self-care. The very first class, we do a wonderful practice together you're going to love. You can actually fall asleep in that first class. It's going to be, it's so relaxing, so healing. So again, in my program, which I'm enrolling right now, so I'm letting you, my YouTube family, know, because it's always my YouTube folks who follow my work who take the program. So gentle sacred movement, tummy area and pelvis to build inner fire, purify your belly. Chakra work. The chakra work will be specifically the sacral, the womb space with the heart space, connecting those two. We'll do shamanic journeying. We're going to spend the bulk of the time, I'd say maybe 4 of the classes, where we'll really be doing the journeying. We'll talk about the sacred feminine. I see that I'm gonna have to do an intro class in there on giving examples. You can create an altar or work on an altar, create sacred space where you can go as a woman and just commune with yourself, with your higher self. And so lots of guided meditations and healing touch, healing self massage. And then earth connection will be becoming more embodied through all those ways, right? But also through connecting with the earth in your area, okay? So I'm going to come back now to YouTube, and I've been shuffling, but I think actually I'm shuffling tarot, but what I would like to do is, if you're here and you've been here, so just tell me what the problem is, or what you need insight into, or what you're trying to let go of. Again, there is no yes or no. It's, do you want it? Is it right for you? So let's get advice on how you can be best, like manifest what you desire. Okay. So yeah. So Kayla, yeah. It's probably on a yoga exclusive channel, right? So yeah, just on YouTube, just do chair yoga. Okay. Okay, trying to really take care of myself here, because sometimes I do the lives and I'm getting dehydrated, but I feel good, and I'll probably be able to do about three card draws, maybe more. My incense finished burning. Well, Julie, yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, thank you for asking that. See, this is what this program, Awaken the Divine Feminine, can take you to, because the fact that you can't find your passion means you're disconnected from your creative, playful, feminine side. Hello. Okay. I'm not just bullshitting you. So it's not a course where you're going to sit and like, oh, what did I like to do when I was a child? I mean, there's books about that. You could just do a book, right? This is about, our feminine goddesses. Our feminine is the side that has the inner wisdom. The feminine, in fact, in tarot, I'm feeling like tarot wants to share a message with us. I'm gonna do a general message with the tarot. Okay, but I want to clear it, not specifically for Julie, but in tarot, the divine feminine is the high priestess. It's the inner knowing. So yeah, the fact that you're cut off from your passion, you don't know what it is, shows a disconnection with the feminine. So I'm going to pull a card for all the viewers. I feel like there's a message that wants to come through. So this is going to be from tarot. I have no idea what it's going to be. You can hear me. I'm shuffling below. Whoops, I didn't quite get that done. Okay. And let's just tune in and see. And I'm going to say from the mother energy, what do we need to know right now? Those who are watching now and those who are watching in the future. Let's see what is shared. Oops. What is this? Oh, wow. That's interesting. That is interesting. You guys are going to think that I made that up. This card is very much about being holding on to money to the point where it might be a detriment. It's the Four of Pentacles. You can see the money is at his head, it's at his heart, it's at his feet. So there's a sense of worry and clinging to money, and he's outside of the city. So it's almost like it's just become an obsession. It can just be someone who feels like they're in survival mode a little bit, maybe a little bit above survival mode, really focused on money, holding it, keeping it, to the detriment of a more balanced life. So it can be, the positive side could be, if you're someone who had struggled before, that your money situation is getting more stable. So the goddess is talking to us though about overly focusing on finances to the expense no pun intended, to the expense of other things in our lives. Okay, that's very interesting. That's what Spirit wanted to share. Okay, and making it a worry, making it too central, too important. Okay, again, over the head, the heart, at the feet. So it can represent a scarcity mindset. So I'm going to put it back in the deck. Okay, good. Yeah. Hi, BB. So BB, yeah, go back. I really shared in depth what my Awaken the Divine Feminine program is. The first video where I just exclusively went through that, addressed some things, talked to women who love my work, who love the affirmation videos, the chakra videos, and who want to work with me more deeply, and who feel that they might be so much in the masculine. So Julie, yeah, I think the course would be great for you. Because, yeah, if you're not sure of what your passion is, that is a disconnection from the feminine. She says, my job is very, right. Well, that's the thing. Yeah. Yep. I think you would be able to figure it out through my program, because it would put you in touch with yourself, nurturing yourself, and getting away from a toxic job, from a job that's draining you. And many of you watching know this. I went through that. I went through a toxic job and went all the way to burnout. So yeah, I'm going to start pulling. So Julie, it sounds like I'm going to pull for Julie first, and then I'm going to go to Essentially Holistic, who asked a question. Again, Essentially Holistic, yeah. Invest in yourself. That is like my genuine answer. So, and Julie, the same. I'm going to pull a card for Julie first. All right. So let's just breathe together. And then I will go through. So I'm just shuffling. I'm not, obviously my eyes are closed. Whoops, one card tried to jump out. These are the angel cards. Okay. Vision, yes, and she got it reversed. So a lack of vision, Julie, exactly what you just said. Spirit's like, yeah, there's a lack of vision, right? I love that they use a vision test to it's so cute. The angel is taking an eye exam. So yeah, there's to talk more about this for you. It's a lack of vision is like an overarching vision. Yeah, there's a lack of an overarching vision, Julie, for you. Vision for your life. Like, is your life about helping children? Is it about your creativity and helping children? Maybe you write or work with children. Like, so you're lacking a vision for your life. That, like, basically confirming what you said. You don't know what your passion is. And so that is the issue. There's a lack of overall vision. Your job is very masculine, so you've got to do things to balance it out. Yep. So Julie, would the program work for you in terms of timing and the cost? It's $99 for 8 sessions. It's like $12 a session. Essentially Holistic, I'm going to put this back and shuffle for you, and I'm reading what you wrote. So remember, the advice card we got was we can focus so much on money that we make the money a god, and then our energy tightens around it. Okay. And then that does lead us to scarcity. That does lead us. So it's almost like loosen your body up, like literally shake it out, and like loosen and let go. All right. And settle back into yourself. And the feminine is abundant. The feminine in every culture, the key thing of the feminine is fertility. The ability to bring life, to bring food. It's fertility is like the base quality of the feminine. Yeah. Again, that's why I'm interested in it, right? And if born into female bodies, this life means you are to carry that energy forward. So I'm pulling now for Essentially Holistic. Right. I'll just pull and see what the advice is here. You guys, did you hear me shuffling? I was shuffling, right? I was like the same exact card. Wow, this is really deep. I'm actually going to write this down. And maybe I'm supposed to make a video about this. separate person, right, got the same card out of this box of cards. This box. Now, I've lost a couple of them, but originally it says it had, how many? 72 cards were in here. So it's probably literally like 65 because I know I've lost some of them. Both of you ladies got the exact same card, vision. So you need to have a vision for your life, essentially holistic. What is the vision? What are you here to give, goddess? What are you here? I'm assuming feminine. What are you here to give? What are you here to share? What is your gift? So you'll manifest abundance, healthy friendships, all of that, all the stuff we want, but there's a lack of vision for you as well. So I'm going to take this as a theme, everybody watching, right? We need to have a sense of the vision for our life. Like for me, my vision is that I am here, vision or mission, I'm here to help women connect to the divine and to realize their own divinity and to live joyful, peaceful, happy lives. Like that's my vision for my life and I share my gifts while thriving, while being supported for my gifts. Oh, thank you, my love. Who just did that? Somebody just give a super sticker. Thank you. Thank you, Julie. Yeah. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. So Julie, yeah, Spirit confirmed you're like, I don't have my passion. What's my passion? I was like, yeah, get a vision. So let me help a little bit more because what I'm getting then, because I feel like it's like a circular thing. Because you said your passion, your vision just inside yourself. What would you like your life to be? Do you want to live by the ocean and in a small South American village teaching kids Spanish or teaching them English because they speak Spanish? Like what? So work with this idea of vision, Julie, and essentially holistic. Same thing. If you had to make something up, what would you make up? Are you in an urban environment? Are you on a Native American reservation helping? Are you in France in the countryside farming? Are you on a homestead in Tennessee with a little farm and chickens? Like, if you could be doing anything, what would you be doing? I love that. And then work from there. Right? I really believe inside both of you asking these questions, you have like a little seed of what your true desire is. I do. So Kaylee, it says, yeah, how do I manifest what I want or need? It's vision. I'm telling you, I may not, because if I pulled it a third time, that would be really creepy, people. That would creep me out. Here, I'm going to hold this up so you can see. I'm going to move the cards around here too. So. All right, because if I get vision a third time, this is going to be really super weird and probably freak people out. All right, so this is for Kaylee. Okay, what is this? Oh, joy. There's not enough joy. Now, Kayla, I'm going to go there. You said you do have a disability, and are you feeling like you're not having as much joy in life? I know our culture certainly makes it harder if you're disabled. So Spirit is like, you're not having enough joy. So when people say, well, how can if my life isn't joyful, find little things. It might literally be, Kayla, that a bird lands at your window, beautiful blue jay, or a little sparrow, and you just watch it and you enjoy it. There are many things that can bring joy that are free. And I'm saying this to myself too. Like as I'm sitting here talking to you goddesses, it's beautiful outside. The sun is shining. There are actually weeds on my lawn, but like kind of a little garden area. And it's weeds, but they have flowers. So Kayla, you need more joy in your life, and whatever that may be. Maybe there's literally like, I know this sounds extreme, but there are races for people who are handicapped. Like maybe there's a basketball league, because I don't know what your handicap is. Like if you're wheelchair bound, but you have your arms, maybe there's a sporting league for people who are wheelchair bound. So something that brings you joy is what is missing. I'm very intuitive, and I'm just, Spirit is saying you'll be able to manifest what you want to need, but start with that key of joy, Kayla. Start with that key of joy. So essentially holistic, yeah, you got vision, right? You want to manifest more. Okay, so what would that dream job be? Essentially holistic. You have to give spirit something to work with. Are you in a small office? Essentially holistic. Are you working from home? What do you desire? Desire is like the it's sort of the fuel. Okay, good. Yeah, BB, would you like me to pull a card? Then just ask a question about a particular area or something you're either wanting to fix or figure out or manifest. Yes. You feel like you're in survival mode. Yeah. So I think, yeah, it's the lack of vision. I know that's just what it came up. So get a clear vision of what you want. And actually law of attraction and the more woo-woo stuff talks about that. We have to have something we're moving towards. And again, I'm saying this is helping me as I'm sharing this with you. If we only focus on what we don't have, that's where we'll stay, because all of your energy, your brain power, your focus is on what you don't have. Very profound truth, very profound spiritual truth, magical truth. What do you want? Give your mind and your vision and your higher self something to move towards, not just something to run away from. So yeah. Yep. Yeah. She said, yeah, I know, that I know. Yeah, that I know. I think you meant to write. Yes. So that's my preaching and teaching on that. Yeah. 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 Yeah, essentially. I'm just going to use the because your name is long. Essentially, you have an idea. What would state your idea here? Because I'm enjoying this live. I've been going for about an hour, but essentially, what is the idea? What is the idea? Because you got vision. You need to get a clearer vision, and Julie got a vision. And thank you so much for that super sticker or super chat. I appreciate them. If anybody else wants to super sticker or super chat, definitely feel free. And essentially, yeah, you could do a vision board, absolutely, and let your inner child kind of play and come out to play. That's the feminine is, right? When we think of like almost the stereotype of a woman, right? Like the stereotype I'm saying, it's like a kind of light and kind of silly and right? It's a joy and a playfulness. And so create a vision board, have fun with it. I recommend doing an old-fashioned vision board, essentially, meaning cut it out, get lots of magazines. I think it's more playful and engrossing if you do an old-fashioned paper. Vision board. Yeah, well, what are they? To share some of them. You might have, this is why we work with the sacral chakra. I believe for women, when we're not getting our desires, that's the sacral chakra is about desires. It's primarily sexual and sensual. But think about it. When you're not getting your desires, you're not getting your needs met. You're not getting your wants met. And so I think for a lot of women, poverty is linked to a sacral chakra imbalance. That's what I think. That's what I think. I'm not passing my modules to my father. He's a breadwinner. Okay, but you're still young, Kayla. You're still, yeah. If you're 26 now, yeah. But you're not passing your modules in. What do you mean your modules in college? That's not clear. You're dependent on your father. He's a breadwinner. Right. That doesn't have to be permanent. And see, and what I would say is, oh, I'm so happy and grateful to have someone that is supporting me. Kayla, turn that around. Say, oh, I'm so grateful for the support he's given me. And I know that I'm working towards my independence. So you have to have gratitude for what's happened, because that shifts your energy, Kayla. And then you can still include that you want to be independent. Yeah, but I hear you. You had major surgery on your right leg. Yeah. So Kayla, were you the person who said, yeah, that you are disabled? Yeah, that is hard, but I would turn the positive and really try to get yourself to at least a sense of gratitude for what he's done for you. And I understand that's hard. It sounds like you don't have as much independence. Yeah. Oh, and university. And but why aren't you passing it? Because that could be a way out. That could be a way out for you. You'd like to be a holistic healer. Yes. Great. Yeah. From your name. Yeah, essentially. So you need to look at that vision. Um, you need to, I often recommend, because I have recommended to folks who've maybe we just did a free call because they were really strapped. I do have a free 20-minute call. You can find that on my, it's viv.asme. But you get a career type thing, like maybe massage therapy, get a certification in something to start with. There are lots of grants. So essentially, what's holding you back? I mean, other than the lack of vision. I'm trusting spirit when it said that it's a lack of vision. You want to be a holistic healer. What modality draws you? Like when you say holistic healer, like I was looking, art therapists make a really good steady salary, and it's still holistic. Maybe they work with children, right? So art therapist, maybe that doesn't sound as woo-woo, but it's definitely holistic. Massage therapy, there are like professions that get you that where you know you'll get a job. Ooh, okay. Yeah, so then you've got to take a program. You do want to take some sort of program, yeah. And so so how can you get do you need financial aid for it essentially? Are you also disabled? Because if you're able-bodied, you might want to just save your money from a regular boring job. And all of our ancestors did this. If any of our ancestors were poor, put some money in a jar, like work at night, go to school part of the day. I'm just saying, now that's a little bit of the hustle, but to your body's ability. But yeah, I do love that. Holistic healer. So many of us are needing that right now. There's so many programs with that, food and herbs, or just herbs. You could start with an herbal program. Essentially holistic. Gosh, my friend has a school in Vermont. What the heck is the school's name? I believe she may have scholarships. Hold on. Is that it? Vermont Center for it's called the Gaia School of Healing. I'm going to put the link. I believe she has scholarships if you're low income. Here you go. See, I really do love helping people. Essentially holistic. Yeah, if you're able-bodied, so is it you just don't have enough money yet? Essentially, I'm putting in the Gaia School of Healing. It's in Vermont, and it's run by a friend of mine. And I believe she does have at least partial scholarships. It's a very good herbal program. You could get the herbal piece, or getting them together. I don't know. That might be like a 2-year degree or a naturopath. Like, have you seen programs that have the food and herbs? There definitely is, but I just feel like that may be more like college, naturopathic college. There's a place also called Bastyr, BASTYR, something like that. And they would have that. But yeah, check out the Gaia School of Healing. Yeah, or aromatherapy. So yeah, just get each piece at a time, essentially. I'm not clear on, share with me what's holding you back right now. Because it seems like you have some ideas. You definitely do. You have some ideas. And Kayla says, thank you, I will do that. I feel I do not like my subject, but I do not want to pass up getting an education. I spoke with him, your dad probably, about maybe not liking course anymore, but I don't know what I want to do. Yeah. Well, what is your subject? What's the subject that you don't like? You guys are so vague. Like, then I have to ask another question. So Yeah. What is the subject you're studying that you don't like? Is it are you being forced to study something to like get a job that you don't like and you're more artistic? Because that's the one I know. As a creative child growing up, my immigrant parents were always like, become a nurse, like a job where you know you will make money, nursing shortage again, right? So is that the problem, Kayla? And I'll wait for that. But yeah, essentially, check out Gaia School of Healing. Really goes deep on the herbs, for sure. Oh, finances. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I know it's hard. I don't know how much you're earning, but the cards when I pulled for you, I'm going to pull some more. I'm going to pull some more for essentially. So if you're just joining, hey. If you're just joining, I'd say start at the beginning and don't worry about that because I'm not going to pull many more cards unless I recognize you as a channel member or a longtime channel member. So essentially, I'm going to pull some cards for you on what's behind the financial. It says it is something about vision, right? That was what you got. Get clear on your vision. So I believe that. Get really clear on what you want. Look at these schools, ask them if they have a partial scholarship, ask them if you can do a work exchange, essentially. That's the type of thing I would do. Can I do a work exchange for you? Some of them will. So your first card, whoa, yeah, you need to start fresh. You got the Fool card. They got the Fool card. The Fool card is about starting fresh, taking a risk, and being like a child, being open-minded, right? Like stepping off a cliff is generally seen as a stupid thing to do, but it's a restart. And this is a major arcana card, meaning it's a major move for you. You need to start fresh. Again, this is for essentially. Second card, wow. There is a sense, yes, doing something you love. A spirit will support you in that, right? This Ace of Cups is very much about emotions overflowing, joy, positivity, and love. But coming from the coming like from the universe. So I'm reading this with the Start Over card as start moving towards something you love, essentially. You're really being told, yeah, and it looks like it will be a positive for you because the Fool is a positive card generally. I'm looking at the other things around it. And this Ace of Cups says you have tremendous, there'll be emotional support. You'll feel emotionally satisfied, essentially. You're going to love it if you start this that you're talking about, whether it's aromatherapy, whether it's the food, and just take one at a time. You don't need to learn all of those things at once. But especially since you're having economic issues, I would start with the one that will make you the most money at the start. So maybe that's being the herbalist. Whatever will get you aromatherapy, I feel like might be a little bit further back. I don't know, depending where you are, how popular that is. But yeah, let me put one more card for you, essentially. So you're being told to start fresh, take a risk. And this card wants to come out. Wow. Yeah, very good cards for you. Very good cards. Whoops. See, I'm dyslexic. Wow. Yeah, I'm totally dyslexic. I have to do this. Okay. So the Fool card, start fresh, be innocent like a child, let go of your baggage. Look at how light he is. You have spiritual support and you're going to feel emotionally really happy once you start. And she got this other card, which is a feminine energy, the Queen of Wands, very much about she can handle multiple things. So my sense is you can keep working and start your education, essentially. Yeah, that's what this is, a great card of a woman who is very practical, very down to earth. She can run, she runs her shit, she just keeps it all, and there's a creative aspect to it. So my sense is start that new phase of your life. There's support for you to do that right now, and you have that energy within you. This could also represent a woman in your life, essentially. It could represent a woman in your life or you. Yeah. Great. Yeah, let's see what essentially says. Yes. Oh, you're feeling it as a confirmation because you've been feeling that. Yeah. You didn't get this card upside down. You got it right side up. It's red. It's a new phase for you, but you have to take the leap. You have to step off. And the idea is that he lands somewhere soft. And it's the innocence. He's like looking up. It's an innocence of leaving your baggage behind, leave your past behind, leave your struggle behind. Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad that worked for you. And Kayla, I'm going to, if what I said is confusing, my subject is accounting. Got it. No, and that's what I thought. Remember, I said, yeah, is it something where you're studying to be able to earn money, but you don't love it? No, I got you now. I got you now. Yeah, but your father, it sounds like he's supporting you, so he wants you to have a job, and you could be disabled and do accounting, right? I see what he's thinking. I'm not going to lie. I see what he's thinking. I see what he's thinking. Kayla, I'm going to pull cards for you as well. So those of you just arriving or watching, so I believe Kayla is disabled. I think your first question, right? Wasn't it about, can I meditate laying down? Right? Okay, let's see. Let's see what you get. So you're in a position where you feel like you don't have a lot of choice. I got you, Kayla. I'm going to do one more shuffle where I blend them together. Hold on. Okay. All right, let's see. And then I'm cutting them. I'm going to pull 3 cards for Kayla. Kayla, first card. What do you need to know? First card. 1. 2. Oh, boy. 3. Yeah, so Kayla, I'm going to say this is all you. Here's why. You guys will see. She got the 2 of Swords. What do you see? A woman who can't make a decision. She said, what is, can't make a decision? They're 2 swords, right? She could literally put the swords down, take the blindfold off, she'd be free. So this is a card of mental, of indecision, of stasis, stagnation. Yeah. Then another card, the 7 of Cups, is someone who can't decide what they want to do. And the idea is that the true self is there waiting to be discovered. But Kayla, I'm going to say that, so I know you're saying your father's supporting you, but Spirit is kind of saying it's something for you as well that is feeding into that energy. I really believe we co-create. So when we take our power back, you need to make some choice about being true to yourself and narrow it down. This is when you're sort of being seduced by many different dreams, ideas. Some look seductive, but they're not your real self. So that combined with this is, yeah, there's a lot of confusion in you about how you want to go forward. But then a really beautiful card, the High Priestess, which, as I said, is the epitome of the divine feminine in the tarot. The High Priestess has secrets. She understands secrets. She knows. And so you need some time within, okay, where you can do meditation or just quiet contemplation. You could be in nature and look within for your answers. Look within for your answers. That's the High Priestess. And look at your dreams. So I don't know, your background affiliation, but the High Priestess can very much indicate subconscious information coming up through our dreams, through signs. A book could fall down in front of you. You could overhear someone, Kayla, talking about something, and the message is actually for you. Yeah. So, So Kayla, how does that hit you? You've been feeling like you need to take a leap and start fresh. Yes. And that's exactly what you got. Yes. That, we often as women, we know what we need to do, but we're not listening to our intuition. And that's really also Awaken the Divine Feminine is about. It's about getting clear on our intuition and trusting it. And that's why we're doing a lot of the work, is to get clearer on our knowing. So yeah. So essentially holistic. How did that, no, Kayla, how did that hit you? What I was sharing? Again, you got this indecision, afraid to make a decision. Your thoughts are just sort of bouncing back and forth. Again, here, being almost overwhelmed by the variety of choices. So an inability, again, to choose, but then it ends with the High Priestess, which I'm going to take as your, Yeah, you were told to balance your solar plexus. Okay, you can work on your solar plexus. Um, for sure. Yeah, that will give you some sense of personal power. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, essentially, I totally get that. I that happens to me where but look at what you're doing. When you don't make a decision, then you've made a decision. So, I mean, people can go years not making a decision. Do you want 2 years more to pass? So yeah, if you know you're interested in herbs, goddess, then start with the herbs. It doesn't matter which one you start with. As I said, I would start with the one where you think you can then make a living from it, and then you add the other modalities. That's how everyone does it. You don't get all the modalities at once typically. So, like, yeah, if you start with the herbs, then you could add the aromatherapy, you could add the foods, and you just build. Um, yeah. Oh, yeah. I just need to know. I know I'm repeating cycles. Oh, you just need to know how. How to net well, I think you do have some idea of what you like, Kayla. What I would do if your father will allow it, just take different classes. You could also just finish the accounting and maybe you do accounting for a few years and you save money and then you do something else, my love. You go back to school. Like I don't know how it is in South Africa. I don't know how easy that is. But here, I mean in the US, if you're her dad, those of you just watching, it sounds like her dad has got her in school. Do accounting in America, accounting pays pretty well. But I think you said you weren't doing well in those courses. So to me, it sounds like you need to really sit with your dad and just tell him, if it's not working for you. Because yeah, if you're not getting, you said you're having trouble with your modules. I'm remembering now, right? So yeah, I'm so sorry about that. It does sound like you're in a tough situation. He's looking at what can probably get you a job, especially as a disabled person. And accounting, you're sitting down, and it sounds like it doesn't really suit you. But as I said, there is something about, because this was your reading, you need to make a decision. You need to make a decision yourself. Once you do, and clarify what you want, because if I were your dad and I saw, okay, you're really sad and you're not doing well in your accounting, I'd probably ask you, well, what do you want to do? Right? And so if he asked you, what are you going to say? So it is for you to look within and figure out what would I like to do and what could I physically do as well. Essentially, thank you so much. I got a second super sticker. Thank you guys. Um, so yeah, and you're young too. So it's not like you don't, I think you said you're 26. So many people don't even know what they want till their 30s. Believe me, right? Chat, give her some love. Give Kayla some love. So yeah, but your dad might ask you, so what would you like to do? And that's going to be the question. There are different tests you can take. There's all these tests online to see what your aptitude is, right? Like, what are you good at? What's your aptitude? You know, like essentially holistic, at least, got the vision as well. You guys both got that vision card. Get clear on your vision for your life. So think about what type of life would you want to live, Kayla? What type of life would make you happy? Do you want to be a teacher? I think even disabled, again, I don't know what your disability is. Do you like to teach? Do you like computers? Maybe you don't like accounting, but you like computers. Like what kind of work do you think you'd enjoy more? And especially if your dad is willing to help you go through school, right? I think, yeah, you're welcome, essentially. Yeah, you're welcome. Absolutely. So be open, essentially. And like I said, reach out to some schools. Most of them will have some sort of scholarships. Pick one, find one you want, and then put that as your goal. Like, oh, I'm going to attend this program by next spring, or by next fall, I'm going to be in this program. Yeah, because you got the vision. You need to have a vision for yourself. Make it take it slow. Maybe it's 2 years before you're an herbalist, 3 years, right? But at least you're on your path, essentially. Yes, at least you're on your path. Oh, see, glass half full. Hey, hun, you're just joining. I'm still figuring out my 50s. Exactly. So this is Kayla is in South Africa and she is disabled. And so if you're just joining in, she was just, crying because she's a little bit confused, and the cards show that she is confused. But it ended with a high priestess, which means you do have access to that wisdom and knowing, Kayla. So you can figure it out. But it sounds like you may need to talk to your dad, because if you're not getting good grades, in the program, then what's the point? Because are you going to be able to be an accountant, which is what it sounds like he wants. And haven't we all of you who are still here, haven't we all had that where the parent kind of wants to tell us, this is what's best for you? And that can be very confusing. That happened to me because in fact, maybe that's why I'm like talking with you. It's probably a message for me as well, right? I love painting, but my mother is like, she did brainwash me. Well, how do you make money as an artist, right? And that's the common thought. And yet there are artists who make a lot of money. There are people who do more commercial art and make money, or do like design, right? So you'll figure it out, Kayla. I think you will. Let me put up your comment here, honey. Let's see. What I want to do is therapy. He doesn't see that I need to do it. Okay, what I want to do is go to therapy. Yeah, he doesn't know. In the US, child will be like, yep, therapy. But maybe in South Africa, it's less. Okay, you want to go to therapy and do a specific spiritual cleansing that I'm told I need through a consult with a spiritual healer, but he doesn't. Well, then it sounds like your option really truly is if somebody else in your family would fund you, or you do the accounting, because the accounting would give you freedom. Do you guys feel what I'm saying? The accounting would give you some freedom. You have enough money, and then you can do what you want. Yeah. So, but yeah, it sounds like, sadly, you've talked to your dad, and I could understand. My parents wouldn't want to pay for stuff like that either. So we have to do the best with our situation. But like I said, there's something about you getting clarity, you making a decision. So it's not, I'm hearing a lot of helplessness, Kayla, and I'm questioning that. Well, I don't know that I see why you're confused. You got the Two of Swords, and you need to make a decision. I don't know that you necessarily need the spiritual cleansing. Like it sounds like you believe you need the spiritual cleansing because they told you. You got a lot of cards about, the first card I drew for you was vision. You need a vision for your life. And you can always change your vision, my love. But you're basically saying you want your father to fund certain things for you that he doesn't want to fund. So what is a way around it? What is a way around it? Maybe you can apply yourself more to the school studies, get a job, and then you'll be independent. What do you the rest of the folks in the chat think? What I really don't vibe with, I don't vibe with helplessness. And I say that because then that means you're giving away your power completely. And I think we always have agency. While we're breathing, we always have something we can do, even if it's just to say, this is what my life is right now. I'm going to get through college, and then I'll be able to do what I want to do, kind of, that could be one approach to it. So guys, thank you so much. Kayla gave you the best feedback from Spirit that I could. Essentially Holistic. Julie, thank you for being here. Thank you for the super chats and super stickers. Lydia, thank you for being here. Kayla, thank you for being here. I think that was everybody who chatted. BB, thank you so much. And the best thing you can do with anyone who, run it by your own inner knowing. And to wrap it up to why I'm teaching this program, it's when women are confused like this, it means that we're disjointed from our from our feminine wisdom. That's what our feminine wisdom is there to help us decide what to do. And like I said, I'm saying this for myself as I'm learning it more and more. We have an inner compass, and that compass will help steer us. Yeah, the compass will help steer us, you know. Yeah, it may not be about getting him to change, my love. That's what I'm saying. I'm still pushing. Yeah, keep pushing through and just considering his patience. Yeah. Yeah, right. I think, yeah, I should stop listening to what people are telling her and listen to her intuition. Right. And she got that intuition card. Right. And yeah, listen to your own inner knowing, first of all, on how to move forward and how to move out of the situation. You're basically saying people have told you these things and you're putting it as a block in front of you. Like you're putting it as a big mountain. Oh, well, I have to have this therapy, then I have to have this spiritual cleansing, or I can't move forward. I would choose not to believe that. And do whatever you can yourself. If your father's not going to pay for it, and say, okay, I have to get to independence. And once I'm independent, then I can pay for my therapy and I can get whatever spiritual cleansing I need, take back your power. So yeah, you're welcome. And you're 26. So yeah, figuring it all out. Some of us in here are the wise women stage. You're at the bliss babe stage. Those of you also, if you have not watched the interview with Priya, check it out. It's really informative. We just talk about a lot of different things, the way the planet is changing, how women are being called forward. And so, yeah. So essentially, I think my program would be wonderful for you in helping you get stronger as a woman. People won't come to you for healing unless they feel you've reached a certain level. And that's the truth. So, as a healer, that phrase, healer, heal thyself, is always really important. Healer, heal thyself. So as healers, we have to constantly be balancing ourselves, essentially holistic I'm speaking to, but all of you, if you want to do any sort of healing work, it is a process. Like you learn by healing yourself, and then you work with others, and you heal yourself, and you work with others. So it's a journey. It's a journey, and it's just step by step, day by day. Yeah. So it was so good to be here. I'm at an hour, 45 minutes. I feel great. Do you guys want to see some of the supplements that I'm taking? Yeah, essentially it's $99 till tonight. If you need a 2-payment plan, then if you can register today with half, just write to assistant, and I'll give you a PayPal link. Assistant at intheflowofmagic.com. I could do a 2-payment plan for you, but you would have to do it today to do that because the 99 closes. And let's see who else here. I know Lydia, you were in your yoga teacher training, right? And Sundays, yeah, 11 I think doesn't work for you. I forget though, we were talking about afternoon times, but this time I said it in the morning. So yeah, I put it, the assistant at intheflowofmagic.com. Hey Priya, oh, I'm just popping out, but Priya, yeah, I was just talking about I was telling him to go watch the video we recorded. Thank you, goddess. I have a glow today. It's the yoga. Like I said, Priya, if you're just jumping in, I have to show off, Priya. This is what I was doing. I was doing Ashtanga yoga. Very sort of masculine, but it's type of yoga. It really is. It's preset. It's a preset sequence. But it's really good if you're trying to like cleanse and like purify, because it will make you sweat. So I'm going to hold up what I was doing. So this is Surya Namaskar A. You do that a couple times. That's just to warm up. Then you do Surya Namaskar B, and this push-up is for real. You do this push-up. Oh my God. Okay. that's just one round of the warm up. And then here, I'm showing off to Priya. Then this was the last thing I did because people were asking me about doing lotus when they meditate. And I said, I can do lotus, but I'm not going to meditate in it. And then this is the last posture in the sequence where you wrap your legs in full lotus and you lift yourself off the ground, which is not easy. I don't know if that looks easy, but it's not, because it's really abs that's holding you up. It's not like, oh, your arms are long, because if your arms are long, your ass will still be on the ground. So it's abs that do that. But it's a very cleansing practice. And I studied with this guy some years ago. So I got his manual. It was Ashtanga yoga. I was really into Ashtanga yoga many years ago. His name is David Swenson. He's probably still going. He's probably 60 now, I would say. But anyway, so Priya took Awaken the Divine Feminine. If you guys have any questions for her, essentially, if you have any questions, really, I mean, Priya, what I was doing was explaining the program, like what I'm going to go through, like the whole video, this whole was about that, this whole video, but then I was pulling cards. But essentially wants to be a healer. And so Priya also, Priya also watch that video, because going through the program, I think it just helped her crystallize her vision of being like I'm going to say this, Priya, I think it's taken, but an urban shaman. I'm pretty sure there's somebody who's using that name, but I loved it. Is it urban shaman or urban yogi? Anyway, just what I'm to synopsize what you want to do: urban shaman, urban yogi, urban earth yogi, urban earth healer. I love coming up with names. So Julie, if you have any, oh, it said the page didn't work. What? Hold on here. Hold on. It should work here. Let me see. This link. Yeah, could you tell me what error you got? Because it looks like it's working for me, but let me go to a private window. So, essentially wants to be a holistic healer, not quite sure of, essential oils, herbs, and food, right? So I was sharing, just start with one, build a base, start your practice, start making some money, and then you can study aromatherapy, you can study whatever else. Yeah, it should work. It's the buy now button. Hold on, let me just, you hit the buy now button. That's $12 a class, literally, that early enrollment. So let me know. I'm going to come back to the page. It should be working. It should be working. Yeah, urban shaman, right? Isn't that nice? I like urban shaman. Maybe urban earth shaman. I like urban. Check if that URL is available, if you like it. But this is to any of you who want to be self-employed or anything like that. Get the URL that you're thinking of, the web, the name, even if you don't use it right away. It's like $12 a year to hold it, like a year, I think. Is it a whole? Yeah, a lot of them. Some of them are even cheaper. But because if you are toying with the idea of a certain name, like you like that branding, you like it, I would register the URL. So Julie, let me know if that's not working, at what exact error you're getting, because I don't get that, why that would not work. Yeah, and again, I got 2 super chats. Thank you so much. It was Julie who did it, and who else gave me a super chat? I think Essentially. Thank you. Thank you. I was pulling cards, slinging cards. Yeah, Julie. Any super sticker. And we helped Kayla. She's in university. Priya, she's going through a lot. we were helping her. Yeah. So yeah, Julie, let me know if you're still getting an error there. And Julie, I know you were saying you feel off your, you didn't know what your passion was. Priya, do you think this program could help her discover what her passion is? I said, I know it could, because I said when you're disconnected from your passion, That is a disconnection from the divine feminine, because it's a disconnection from the playful, the sort of the mystery, the exploratory life. Yeah, it's working. It's working. Thank you, essentially. So, um, that is a disconnection from oneself when we're unclear about our passion. I'll share the story. I live where there's a lot of Native American, there's still a reservation, I guess is called. And there is a man who, he can do massage because apparently if you're Native American in New York State, he does his traditional type of massage. So he didn't have to go to school and everything. Guys, it was scary because it's like he'd suddenly snap something. So I was like, whoa. I felt good afterwards, but it was like this snapping. He was almost like chiropractic, but not quite. Not quite. And he worked on me and he sat down next to me on the table. And this was out in the park. It was like a fair. And he said, it was very quiet, very calm. And he said, "You're doing what you are supposed to be doing." And I was like, "Really?" He goes, "Yes. You're on your path." Like you, because that's kind of what he feels into as he's like shaking and stretching. It felt like it did get energy moving. He goes, "You are on your path. You're on your right path." And I was so touched by that. That made me feel really good. Yeah. Julie, yeah, you're in Arizona. Yeah, there's so many schools in Arizona. There's Ayurvedic school in Arizona. See, I'm channeling now because I am Ayurveda. I don't know if you're interested in that. I'm particularly love Ayurveda. It's a system of healing where you can counsel people and you help them with their diet and with herbs. And I'm pretty sure there's a really good school in Arizona. I think there's two of them, and I don't know if it's because of the laws in the state. But Julie, yeah, check that. Priya says that yes, I feel this class gives you the space to uncover it, because it's really, again, I keep saying, and that's why I'm like, I don't know if people are women not interested in intuition. What we're really working with ultimately is bringing you back to yourself to feel fully embodied, fully present for yourself, your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, your inclinations. And then through the working with the goddess energy is that you find a goddess that literally starts to help guide you, Julie. And essentially, yeah, it's like it's a spiritual practice. So it's just giving you several ways to get more centered within yourself. But yeah, Julie, when you said Arizona, I thought of Ayurveda, because it's a beautiful system of healing with lifestyle, with diet, with herbs. Oh, she said, yeah, you love it too. Yes. No, I have so many Ayurveda books. So see, so get grounded in something. Because Priya, again, what you missed was for both essentially and for Kayla, I pulled the same card out of a deck of like 60 something cards. They both got vision. They needed to get clear on their vision. So as I'm talking to you, I see, yeah, you know what you like. At first you're like, oh, I just want to be a holistic healer. Okay. Let's narrow it. Let's narrow it down. And yeah, if you love Ayurveda, if you're drawn to it, then maybe that's your way in. I think people will pay for that. I can't guarantee, but depends how you market yourself, the energy, if you love it, but Ayurveda is absolutely healing. It's a little simpler than Chinese medicine. If you go into TCM to become like an acupuncturist, that you will make a living as an acupuncturist. People will, I believe, will pay for that because it's getting more accepted. But that's like intense. I believe that's 4 years. Like, so you think about what you're able to commit to essentially. But yeah, I think my program would give you that connection to your spirit to know, okay, this is right. This is right, maybe down the road. Do you want to study Western herbalism, right? Because there's Western herbs. I'm sorry, I am not as impressed with Western herbs. The system is not as in depth as Chinese herbs or Ayurvedic herbs. It just isn't. It doesn't, the history that we have doesn't go back as far. Now, if you're Native American, it may, but the history of Western herbalism, what I've seen, it's just simpler. It's not that it doesn't work, it's just not as complex as Chinese medicine, thousands and thousands of years documented. And Ayurveda, same thing. And they're kind of a branch of the same tree, right? They have texts going back to, like, the 7th century talking about, oh, when somebody has this type of disease, they even have diseases. Check this out. Oh, okay, Julie. Yeah. What are you getting with PayPal? What's the error you're getting? With They literally, I was reading that even though we think of AIDS, HIV, as a new disease, Ayurveda had diseases that would be the equivalent of AIDS. Like, they understood what it was. They called it wasting diseases, right? Wasting means when you start losing weight and getting like super thin, right? So these ancient methods, Ayurveda is also said the whole thing about gut health that now the West is all excited about, and grants and this and that. Oh, your gut health, your gut health. Ayurveda, 5,000, 6,000 years ago said, oh, your brain and your gut are connected, and that and of course they use different words. It was like, you need to increase your digestive fire. They would explain, what does that mean, fire? That you need to digest food better, and these are herbs we're going to give you to digest food better. Your digestive fire will be stronger, and also then you'll be smarter. Now the West is like, oh yeah, we see like confusion and fogginess has to do with your gut. It makes me mad. It does. It makes me mad because here's why. I feel like when somebody in the West discovers something, at least give credit, at least say, just mention these traditions, or we started this research, but we realized that these traditions came to the same conclusion. They're not going to do that. It just pisses me off. It does, because it just pisses me off. Yeah. So you're more into Eastern herbalism, okay? And Julie, like, hit me up at the assistant at In the Flow of Magic. If PayPal isn't working for you, do you have a PayPal account? You don't need a PayPal account. You literally just sign in as a guest and you use your debit or credit card, or like, I just use my debit card, which is not a credit card, because I'm not a credit card person. Okay. So essentially, yeah, if you're into Eastern herbalism, just to still keep helping you, Chinese medicine is much more complicated. It would take you longer to study, I believe, to get to a functional level, versus Ayurveda. But of course, it's up to you. Okay, the Percival is probably going to come for me at this point. So I'm going to put my assistant at In the Flow of Magic. If In the Flow of Magic, if you're having trouble, yeah, can you send me a screenshot? So Julie, you're having trouble with PayPal. What is the error that you're getting? You can do it to assistant. Did I spell assistant right, you guys? It doesn't look right. I think I put an extra S. Assistant. Hold on. I put an extra S. That is so funny. I'm usually pretty good at spelling. Let me copy it from here. Then you can, yeah. I'm going to put it in here. Just spell assistant properly. It's assistant at In the Flow of Magic. And you could send me a screenshot of what you're getting with the PayPal if you're having a PayPal issue. I think I also have Square. Is it Square or Stripe? There's Stripe and there's Square. So anyway, Priya, one thing, if you're still here, go ahead and just put leave a comment over on the video. And so if folks have questions, or it's just nice to, and it helps to boost the video. So I'm going to probably go out for a walk right now. It's beautiful weather and it's not as hot as earlier in the day. And so goddesses, just follow your dreams, listen to your heart, connect in, give yourself quiet time to get clear on what it is that you are here to do, what you desire and what you're here to do. And it will always involve some sort of service, but it should also, I believe it'll also make you happy. So your right service in the world will be something that brings you joy as well. Okay. Or I'm just getting this, for some of you, it may be something that's neutral, but it allows you, like, say it's real estate, but you make a lot of money and you get to enjoy other things that you want. Does that make sense? So you may enjoy real estate. Okay. It doesn't seem very spiritual or whatever, but you like it. but it enables you to live in a certain place and, you know, have your kids homeschooled or something. You see what I mean? So the job in some way really supports your life. Yeah. 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 Please share your herbs. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. I'll just share when now I don't even know if it's where you are though. Yeah. I don't, oh, see some of the ladies from the class? Oh, in class? If yes, if you take this, and currently, if you take it, you can come back in. So for Essentially, and Julie, anybody watching, as of now, if you take it now, this is like the first run. We did the test run. This is like the first run. You can also come back as and take it again. So let me show you my herbs. Essentially, I think they're local though. I live in a place where people are so crunchy. They've got their chickens. I just found out there is a mushroom, get this, a mushroom CSA where I live. I'm like, I understand a vegetable, you know, community supported agriculture. That's where you buy your food directly from the farmer. You pay a set amount of money and they give you a basket of veggies every week. That's what CSA, community supported agriculture. There's no middleman. So the farmer gets the money. Okay. You get the food has dirt on it. Okay. It just came out of the ground. Okay. But then I found out my community has a mushroom CSA. I'm like, what? That's so weird. Get this, the dude will give you like a bag of shiitake, maitake, reishi. Help me out. What other mushrooms am I leaving out? And it was so adorable. I don't know, honestly, if I'll be able to do that. But get this, this is so funny. I see the dude, he's in front of our local bakery, fresh made, handmade. Anyway, I'm like, oh, I bought your herbs at the health food store. He goes, oh, we're not in the health food store. That's not us. I go, oh. He goes, I'm like, oh. And he goes, but I studied with them. He goes, they were the ones who taught us. And I was like, oh. So we have at least two, we have like five, but we have two people, mushrooms. But this dude, his is like, he'll give you a bag of mushrooms like every week and you do what you want. You cook it, you fry it, you tincture it. But that to me is so lovely and crunchy. I love it. So I'm going to get my herbs to show you for Essentially. Let's see. Okay. And get this. So this is available through my health food store. Yeah, I don't think you can get it, but it's a 5 mushroom tincture. Oops. Totally locally made. And they're called Hawk Meadow Farm. Isn't that beautiful? Let me show you the label. Can you see that? Hawk Meadow Farm. And then they have a 9 mushroom tincture. And I actually was like confused because I'm like, oh my God, do I want 5 or do I want 9? And this girl was helping me because it was really funny. She goes, I think you should get the 5. I'm like, yeah, because she's like, well, if it's 5, you're getting more of each concentration of herb than if you got the 9. And I was like, that's what I was thinking. So this has in it, let me tell you what this has in it. A double extraction of reishi, shiitake, maitake. I really like maitake. I just like something about that. Turkey tail and chaga. Guys, when I was doing shiatsu, I had 2 clients that loved me. They were a couple. They just like really, really loved coming to me for shiatsu. And the husband was like a woodsman and he would pick the chaga mushroom. You guys, if you've never seen chaga, it looks like just tree bark. It's like brown. It doesn't look like a mushroom. It's like this brown, not mushroom shaped chunk. And he would give me some free chaga, which I was really appreciative of. That was nice. He'd like sometimes gift me with that. So I am enjoying that. The taste is very mild. And then another local company, again, it's Deep Immune, totally local. You know, they tell you who the formula is by. She's got her email on it. And this is when I just take that in between, I'm waiting for my Chinese herbs. My professional herbalist who has made a formula for me, and he sends them to me. So in between that, like if I run out, I'm just doing this. So it's got an immunity aspect, and then the mushrooms, which I feel like are good for my body. Yeah, cordyceps. What is cordyceps? Well, essentially, so educate me. See, you know stuff, but you've paid as a guest. But yeah, you can pay as a guest. That should work. I love Priya says I love mushrooms. They're so fun. And mushrooms are like communicating with each other. Priya, did you hear about that? Like it didn't actually blow my mind. What blew my mind was I think they said how large the it might be rhizomes. Like literally they have like a miles long web where they're communicating to each other under the ground. Not just a few feet, like miles. And I was like, I knew that. I knew they were talking to each other. I'm having fun, so I'm going to share a weird story connected with this. I was once looking for an apartment and I was burnt out from teaching. So my income was very, very low. And I literally just, and Priya, you'd love this. I just got that I needed to talk to the trees. And the word brethren came to me. And I was like, speak to your brethren. This is what I need. And I feel like they brought me to this place because I've shared this before. I got exactly what I was asking for. First, I saw one place that did not work for me. And to those of you, if you're still here where I talked about vision, I saw an apartment that I thought was horrible. I thought it was disgusting for what they were asking. And I got angry. I said, this is bullshit. You're going to really put a person in here? And I got a pen and paper and I wrote down what I wanted. 3 days later, I know it sounds old. I looked in the newspaper. It's a local little paper with apartments. Everything I wrote, that apartment, I wrote, I want a garden in the back. I want to be able to get to town on foot, but I don't want to be in town. I want to be in nature. I want to feel like I'm just out in nature, but I'm walkable to downtown. And I set the rent, and I want to say I said 600 or 500. Guys, this is really crazy low rent in that area. It was exactly that. The woman's like, no, I'm not going to raise the rent. Because I was like, your rent is really low. This is how I am. I actually, speaking the truth, I'm telling her rent is too low. She goes, no, I know, but that's the rent it is. And she goes, my friends tell me I should raise it. It's not market rate, but she goes, that's just what it is. Below market rate, beautiful bathroom. I was in the trees. And she says to me, I have a garden. I'm not using this garden space. Do you want to like take that whole area over there? And I'm like, yes. Everything that I asked for, I got with that apartment. And like I said, part of it, I felt I was communing with the trees, and it was a very beautiful shaded, well, parts of it were shaded, the yard, but I did get sun. Unlike where I am now, I did not get sun. My landlord did not give me a sunny plot. Yeah, I really feel it was through the trees because I just feel they're communicating to each other. I feel like it's through the air, through their leaves, but I mean, I don't know. It could also be through their roots. I think they can even communicate over big distances. So yeah, but I think cordyceps can help with stamina. Yes. Thank you, Priya. Hello. That's what I'm talking about. And I don't even know what mycelium is. It did sound kind of scary because I'm like, whoa, they're talking to each other underneath. When you really like when science is like, no, this is happening, and you're like, I knew, but what are they saying? But cordyceps, yeah. Oh, lion's mane, yes. Did I get lion's mane in this one? Did I say that? Okay, no, I don't see. Priya, that would be my 9 mushroom extraction. So I'm just doing the 5 because I think I get more of each this way. But I should try the 9, shouldn't I? I should try the 9 extraction and see. But anyway, the other tree people are real. I know. It just sounds almost like a threat. The tree people are real. Yeah, when I'm on point, I can manifest crazy magical stuff. And goddesses who are still watching, you may be like this. What I find though is if we're off, these abilities are off. I actually have something to share about, but I'm going to make a separate video about it. But if you're sensitive, it's very important that you stay balanced. It is almost like, or then you lose some of that ability. But yeah, when I'm really settled, and for me, last tip I'll give to you, especially Kayla, if she's still here, the woman who is said she is disabled and she feels powerless. What I find is it does start first with like vision, like the card you got, but it's clarity and a real like intention. It's not a hard intention, but it's absolute, like, this is what I want. Like I said, when I looked at this apartment, you guys, they hadn't even bothered to paint the walls. The walls looked bad. Something was peeling. There was like a electric wire or some outlet was, I'm just like, and this is in an area where things should be nice. And they're like, yeah, but it's this cheap. And I'm like, no, either raise the rent and make the apartment nicer, or the rent should be cheaper. Like, I just looked at them like, and I walked out. But the anger is what helped me clarify, because I was like, I'm not living like that. And I can only pay 600, but this is what I desire. This is what I require. 2 or 3 days later, I read it and I knew. I was like, oh, this is it. And I went and met the landlady, the nicest woman. She would, if this didn't often coordinate, but at least once she drove me to New York because she was going to New York City to visit her mother. We went down together, and super nice, super nice. At one point, I had trouble paying my rent. And this is what I'm saying to all of you, be creative. I said to her, since I'm a massage therapist, can I exchange massage for part of the rent? And she's like, yeah, sure. I like shiatsu. I started giving her shiatsu. It helped her feel better. And she's like, yeah, we'll take off whatever, like $90 or $100 off the rent. Be creative. Be creative. And that is the feminine. That is the feminine. Be creative. And I just had to go downstairs to massage her. It wasn't hard for me. Okay. So this is part of all of that I bring to the program. Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. She's like, yeah, sure. And then I think also spirit will tell you when it's time to move on. And that's, again, that goes to the intuition. What I think happens, and maybe I really should make a separate video about this, when it's time for you to move in life, like often literally move, things will start to go wrong. So if people tell me they've had a car accident, very often, and most people will admit this, something was wrong in their life. They were having a lot of upset. It's just something energetically, even if it's somebody else, but you're involved in it. So spirit will often, this is what I say, it'll give you like a little like this. Then if you don't move, it'll slap you on the head. And then if you still don't do what it is that would kind of elevate you, it'll be something bigger. That's just what I've noticed. And not to say always illness. Illness has many, many different causes. I also have the book, You Can Heal Your Life. Sometimes with illness, people are ready to go. I want to end with that note, because I'm not trying to say that any sickness, sometimes, for instance, there's someone I follow who I think was very wise, and he did all this spiritual work, a lot of mantra work to help a woman heal. And she literally died the day he finished doing like 100 days of this mantra. And he said then he was shown that she never really was supposed to stay in this life very long, and that her next life would be almost ideal. It would allow her a lot of spiritual practice. She'd be very happy. She'd be in this particular family. And so she had to go. She left this life, and this next life would be, in many, and just better for her. And I was like, wow. So, because I don't want you guys to, oh, okay. Yeah, Julia sent me. So Julie, good. So you have my email. We'll try to sort that out as to what is going on with PayPal. And I truly hope it's not on my end, because then that might be a mess. So yeah. So illness can come from many, many reasons. And as the example I gave you, sometimes it just is that person's time, obviously, and they're going on, they're just moving on. Okay. Anyway, love you guys. Thank you so much for staying for this long. Some of you I know were here and you were quiet, because I see the numbers, but I didn't hear from you necessarily. But yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, glass half full. Hope things are going well for you. your creativity coming up, and watch from the beginning, glass half full. I think this program, again, go to the beginning, you'll see, go about 5 minutes in. I really explain who it can help, who it's for. But I know you've had some concerns with your being able to express your creativity and then prosperity. And so that's, to me, that's depletion. And when the feminine is depleted, when the yin is depleted, it's very hard to sometimes get out of a rut, because it's almost like the base isn't there. The soil, it's literally like the soil isn't rich enough to create what we want. So glass half full, check out my program. If you also want to do like a half, do half and half, email me at assistant@intheflowofmagic.com, right? Assistant@intheflowofmagic.com. But it's $99. It's close. That discount price is going away tonight at midnight. And so with that, I'm going to end the stream. And yes, thank you, Julie. Thank you, Essentially. Yes, Percival. Yeah, you want to say hi? I don't know if you can. Did you see that, you guys? He was way up. He was like up. Can you see up there? This cat, that's why I love cats. He jumps up to my fridge. Then from the fridge, he jumps up to the top of the cabinets. And that's where you were. Yeah. Did you hear him? He's like, meow, meow. Okay. It's not dinner time yet, though. You heard that, right? I know you heard that. Always talking back, always talking back to me. Yeah, no, I'm not feeding you yet. Bye. Have a beautiful week.